Hi, welcome to my channel Ruby Stedman. In this video I'm going to teach you how to crochet this beautiful blanket. It's very easy to do. I hope you guys like it and give it a try. And here is the list of material you're going to need to make it. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and click on the little bell. That way you get notification each time I upload a video. Remember, I make my videos in Spanish and English. So if you receive a Spanish video and you want to see in English, go to the main page of my YouTube channel that you will find the English version in there. For this blanket, you can use any color combination. You can use one tone in one tone, or you can use a blend with one tone like this one or this one. These one are the loops and thread medium 4. These 4 are impeccable, and these 2 is candy, so you can use these 2 or something like this, like that. If you don't have medium 4 and what you have is fine 1, you can use fine 1. You'll need more of the yarn and more stitches, because you need to use a 3 to a 3.5 millimeter netting crochet hook. For something like this, you can use a 4.5. This is the 2 color that I'm gonna use. This one is the loops and thread impeccable. This one loops and thread is candy, medium 4, 100% acrylic. This one has 127.5 grams. This one 200 grams. I don't know exactly the amount I'm gonna use, but I will let you know once I know. I will leave the information here. And the color, this one is bright sky blue, and this one is beige. I decided to change to a 5 millimeter crochet hook from the 4.5, because with the 5 millimeter, the half double crochet will be a little softer than the 4.5. This is the graph. I will leave a picture in my Facebook page, Ruby Stedman Crochet, and in my Instagram, Ruby Stedman Crochet. And the stitch is multiple of 20 stitches for 20 row. Okay, so I have 2 motifs in here. Now we're going to start with our chain that have to be multiple. A full motif is 20 stitches. You can do half a motif at the end and 10. But to keep things easy for me, I'm going to do a full motif on each section. So the chain going to be multiple of 20. You're going to measure your chain. And you have to have around 80 centimeters, give or take. A little more give than take, because you don't want a narrow blanket, you want a nice width. So you're going to do your chain multiple of 20. So I decided to change to this 5 millimeter because I tried with the 4.5 and the stitch is a little stiff with this 4 millimeter of medium 4 yarn. You can make this blanket with baby yarn as well, that fine 3, but remember you have to use a smaller hook because it's a thinner yarn. So I'm going to continue working until I have the length that I want for my little baby blanket, and have to be multiple of 20. I have 120 chains done, and I measure 80 centimeters. Now in here, the X that you see with color will be done with this color, and the ones that you see empty all done with the other yarn. So if you count here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 half double crochet with this one, and 10 with the other color, 10 with this one, 10 with the other color, and so on. So I have 120. I'm going to do 2 more for the first half double crochet. Yarn over, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, and number 4, you're going to do the second one. You're going to do 10 half double crochet. You have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to work 10 with the other color. So in here, you're going to grab this one, you're going to pass it through the loop, and you're going to pull the tail of the blue. You see, the way you make this loop very small. And now you're going to work with this one. At the same time, you're going to continue with this one and here, and now you're going to lose the tail at the same time. So you're going to do 10 with this color. 1, and I pull again the blue a little bit more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that's the repetition that you're going to do until the end of this first row. 10 with the blue, 10 with the other yarn, 10 with the blue, and 10 with the other yarn. Now here, you will do the switcheroo. You bring the blue up. You're going to make this smaller, you're going to pass it through. Pull this one, and you're going to continue carrying that one in here. And you're going to do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now you're going to do the switcheroo again. You're going to pass this color through that loop. You're going to pull this one to make that loop small in here. And now with this one, you're going to do 10 more. Three, 4, 5, and like that you're going to continue working 10, 10, 10. 10 on one color, 10 on the other one, 10 on one color, and 10 of the other one. And here I have marked from the right hand to the left is row 1, and from the left to the right is row 2. Okay. So I'll meet you here at the end of this. Remember, it's 10, I will show 10, you again 10. The switch. So you're going to bring the blue one, leave the other color, pull, that way that last loop is very small. They get lost in between the stitches, and then you're going to continue carrying that one and making the 10 with this one. So you're going to work with the two color all the way until the end. You have to bring both, the one that you're working and the one that you're carrying, till the end of the row. Nine and 10. I finish here with row 1, and now I'm gonna work in row number 2. I finished row 1. So now we're gonna move the stitches a little bit, that way we get that beautiful design. And to turn the work around, we're gonna bring this one up, and you're gonna chain 2. See, turn your work around, and this one is already in here. That chain 2 counts as the first half double crochet because it's on top of the last one. Now you're gonna do one more because we start with 2 at the accent color. I'm gonna call this one the main color and the other the accent color. That way it's easier for me to tell you when to change. So 2 at the accent color, 10 at the main color, 10 at the accent, 10 at the main, and you will finish with 8 of the accent color. Okay, so I have 1, and you go to the next one. You have to make sure that you go to the next one because you're going to see a little hole here, but that's part of the first one in here. You see that one? So you go to the next one, and you're going to do your second half double crochet. Now we're going to change color, and if you want to have a right side and a wrong side, you have to make sure that you bring up the yarn the right way. So if I want this one not to show in the other side, that I want to be the right side, I'm going to bring this one this way and this one in here, like that. If I'm working in the other way and I want this one not to show in the front, and then I will bring it the other way. At least that's what I think that will do. So now you're going to bring this one up. You're going to pull the tail of the accent color to make a smaller that loop. And now with this one you're going to do 10 half double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now to complete a section of 20, you'll have to do with this one 8. But really we're going to do 10 because, let me show you here. It's a reason to my madness. So you have your 20 stitches in here. So you start with 2. You have 10 of this color, and if you count here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then when you start the next one, you do 2 of the accent color to start, and then you'll have your 10. You see that 8 plus the 2 to start the next section of 20, you make 10. So you start with 2 to move the stitch, and then you do 10 with this one, 10 with that one, 10 with this one, and at the end you will finish with 8 of the accent color at the end of the row. You do 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and then at the end of the row you'll only have 8. So now we change color here, and I want this one to be in the top and this one like so. Pull the main color, and with the accent color you're going to do 10. 8 plus 2 for the next motif is 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm going to count here that way you see. You see I start with 2 plus 10 is 12 plus 8 is 20. Now I start again the next motif. I start with 2, so I have 8, and when I start with 2 I have the 10s in between, 10, 10, 10, 10, and that's how you're going to continue all the way. 10 with one color and 10 with the other one. At the end you're going to finish with 8 Remember, once you have 10 with the accent color, you're going to change to the main color. Really, we don't have a main color or an accent color, but yes, I refer like that. That way you know it's easier to keep track. So now you will do 10 with the main color, and then 10 with the accent color, 10 with the main, 10 with the accent, 10 with the main, and at the end you will finish with 8 at the accent color. And remember, you have to bring both yarn all the way until the end of the row. Something that I wanted to show you is when you're gonna do your stitch where the two colors change, you'll see that you have this loop in here. You will do your stitch there, that's number 8, and you will have the same. You see this strand that go all the way, you will have there as well. It will be very even. You work passing for the 2 loops on the top, leaving that one in here. I'm gonna finish this second row. That's 7, and number 8 is on top of that chain. You have to make sure that you have your 8 stitches, that you're not doing the end shorter. Those you have to count each time. Okay, like that. So now we're gonna work in row 3, and it will look like this. Let's see how this turned out, because I never worked with this one before, so I don't know what it's gonna look like. I know this one that I call main color gonna be solid color, but this one I don't know how it's gonna look. I hope it looks good. So now we're gonna work in row 3, and row 3 is exactly the same repetition of row 2. You're gonna start with 2 at the accent color, and then you're gonna do 10 at the main, 10 at the accent, 10 at the main, 8 at the accent at the end. Okay, so it's 2 and then 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. At the end you finish with 8. So now we're gonna turn our work around and work. You're gonna turn your work around. If you like, before you do the chain 2, you can turn your work around. You just have to lift this one up in between the hook and this one, and you turn your work around, and then you do the 2 chain. It's exactly the same even when you turn your work and do the chain, or do the chain 2 before you turn your work around. As long as in between there, it will be exactly the same in both ways, and it will look the same. So that is the first half double crochet, and you go to the next space, do the second one, and then now you're going to change color. You're going to bring this one up and this one down. Pass it through the loop, pull that loop, and now you're going to do 10 with the main color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here in number 6 is where we're gonna have the 2 color mid. So, and here, if you look at here, you have the fall stitch in this color, and you have that tiny little piece of this one. That's where we pass the loop through. So you're gonna go to the little head of this color, passing through the 2 loops on the top, and you have a fall stitch in here. That's how you're gonna work on top of the change of color. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You're going to change color, and you're going to work 10 with the accent color, 10 with the main, 10 with the accent. You'll finish with 8 at the accent color at the end. Remember to pull this one when you are close, that way you make that loop even smaller. So I'll meet you here at the end of the row. A trick 3. And here, when you're going to change color, for this loop to get smaller, don't pull after you change color. You don't need to pull it now. You pull that after you make 2 half double crochet with this one, because if you pull it, it will go loose. But if you do it now, pull it tight, it will disappear. Okay, I'm going to finish here. I have 7 and 8 in the chain space, and you'll have a very even border on both sides. Now we're going to turn our work around. Like I said, you just can put the strand in between and turn your work around, or turn your work around and put the strand in between, and it's the same. Now in row 4, we're gonna move the stitches even more, just the beginning. The rest stay 10, 10, 10 until the last section. So now instead of starting with 2, we're gonna start with 4 accent color, and then 10 at the main, 10 at the accent, 10 at the main, 10 and the accent, 10 and the main, and you'll finish at the end of row 4 with 6 of the accent color. So I have the first one is the chain 2, and then you go to the next and do 2, 3, 4, you're going to change your color, one, 2, pull this one tight. You see how it stays loose in here, and then when you pull tight it will disappear. So you're going to continue with this one until you have 10 with this color, and then 10 with the accent color, 10 with the main, 10 with the accent. It's a very easy design to follow. I'm going to finish row 4, that's 5, and 6 is in the chain space, and you'll have a very even border on each side. If you like, you can lift this and then grab this one and do your chain 2, and when you turn, you see that one is already in here. Now you're gonna work in row 5, and row 5 is the same repetition of 4. You're gonna start with 4 of the accent color, and then 10 at the main, 10 at the accent, 10 at the main, 10 of the accent. So this one counts as the first half double crochet. So then you're gonna go to the next one, and you're gonna do your second half double crochet. That's 2, 3, and 4. Now you're going to change color, bring this one up, and you're going to do 10 with this one. So it's exactly the same as the row before. You start with 4 at the accent color, and you will finish with 6 at the accent color at the end of this row. So what we've done so far, you did row 1, row 2 and 3 is the same, row 4 and 5 is the same, 6 and 7 the same, 8 and 9 the same, and 10 is like row 1. And then we change the colors around. That's what we've done so far. So you're going to continue working in this row all the way until the end, changing every 10 stitches the color. So I'm going to finish here row 5. Now we're going to do the last stitch on top of the chain. Now we're going to work on row 6. In row 6 you're going to start with 6 accent, 10 main, 10 accent, 10 main, 10 so on, and you'll finish with 4 of the accent color. This time in this row you'll have the stitches exactly on top of each other. You see all this one, they're even here, where this one finished, this one start, and the same in here. Bring this one out. chain 2, and I measure this, and believe it or not, measure 90 centimeters long. So it's 10 centimeters, a little over 90, a little like 12 centimeters wider. So for me it's perfect because I can give this to William. William is 3, so that would be perfect. But if you want this for a younger kid, you can do this if you're working with the same type of yarn with 100 chains. But if you want this to last longer, and all that work and then in a few years is too small for the kid, better to do it with a 120. So now I'm gonna turn my work around, and I'm gonna start with 6 of these accent colors. So that one is 1. Go to the next one, do 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You see in the exactly space where I did my first one and the row before, the same color. And then now we're going to change color and do 10 with this one, 10 with the other one, 10 with this one, and so on. And you're going to finish with 4 of the accent color. I will measure here at the end of this 6 row. I'm gonna finish 6 with my 4 the accent color. You see, almost look even there, but it's missing 1 stitch. So you have to make sure that you have the right amount of stitches, otherwise you'll start to go in. So now we're gonna work on 7, do my chain 2, turn my work around. Now in 7 we are going to do 6 of the accent colors. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you're going to change to the main color, and you're going to start 10 at the main color, 10 at the accent, 10 at the main, 10 at the accent, 10 at the main, and you will finish at the end with 4 at the accent color. And that is number 7. I finished with those 4. Now I'm gonna turn my work around. I already have this one here. Now for row 8, you're gonna start with 8 of the accent color, and then you'll change to 10, 10, 10, 10. At the end, you'll finish with 2 at the accent color. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Change to the main color, and you'll do 10, 10, 10, 10. At the end, you'll finish with 2 at the accent color. I'll meet you at the end of row. I finished with 2 of the accent color. I did a chain 2 to turn my work around. We're gonna work on row 9, and it's exactly the same as 8. So you're gonna start with 8 at the accent color. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to change color, and now we're going to work 10, 10, 10, 10. At the end, you'll finish with 2 at the accent color. So it's very easy peasy. So 10, 10, 10 with this one and the other one. At the end, you finish with 2. And then after that, we're going to work in row 10, that is the repetition of 1. I finished 9, and I turn my work around. I chain my 2 and ready to work in number 10. Now number 10 is 10 of the accent color, 10 of the main color, 10 of the accent and 10 of the main. So you'll start with 10 of the accent color and you'll finish with 10 of the main color. And I said the main color is the solid color, okay? That way it's easier to follow. So that I have 1, that's the chain 2, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to chain color, and we're going to do 10 with the main color, and then 10 with the accent, 10 with the main, and so on. That is number 10. And number 11 is exactly the same repetition of row 10, but the opposite. We'll start, so you finish with 10 at the main color, and you'll start 11 with 10 of the accent color. Now we want to work in row 11. I finished 10, and we're gonna work 10 of the accent color, 10 of the main color, and so on. So it's the same repetition of 10, but the opposite. On top of the 10 of the main color, you will have 10 of the accent, 10 of the main, 10 of the accent, and so on. It's very easy. It's the same repetition of row 10, but the opposite color. And here you finish with the main color, but you have to bring up through the loop the accent color. So you're going to do a slip stitch, and you're going to pull the tail of the main color, and now you're going to trap the main color in between the strand of the accent color and chain 2, and then turn your work around, and then you will trap the main color. I will show you one more time. See, you finish here with the main color, but you have to start with the accent color. So you have to do a slip stitch with the accent color in order to work with it. But you still have to trap the yarn that you're going to pass in between the stitches. So you will chain 2. You're going to turn your work around. And you're going to continue working the stitches as you're supposed to. 10 stitch with this color and 10 with the other one. One stitch on top of each other. Because we had 10 in the row before, 10, 10, 10, and now it's 10, 10, 10 again. Now we're going to work on 12. In row 12, it's exactly the same as 2, but with the opposite color. And here in 2, we start with the accent color, and the 10 of the main, 10 of the accent, 10 of the main, 8 of the accent. And this one, we're going to do 2 of the main, 10 of the accent color, 10 of the main, 10 of the accent color, and you're going to finish with 8 of the main color. So it's exactly the same that we did, but the opposite. And here we start always with the accent color. Now we're going to start always those 10 rows with the main color and finish with the main color. So we're changing the colors around. You're going to do exactly the same as you did before, but with the main color, you're going to bring the accent color up. You're going to chain 1 and 2, turn your work around, and that counts as the first half double crochet. Now you're going to do the second one. Oops, the wrong color. The second one, and now we're going to change color. We're going to bring the accent color up, keep the main color down. Now with the accent color you're gonna do 10. 1, 2, 3, and you're gonna continue with this one, 10 of the accent, 10 at the main, and you'll finish with 8 at the main color. Start with 2 and finish with 8, and if you look your work, it'll be nice. And I finish row 12 and I start 13. I already turned my work around and chain 2. It's always the same. Now in 13 you're gonna do 2 half double crochet, so the chain 2 counts as the first one. I'm gonna do my second one. Now I'm gonna change from the main color to the accent color, and I'm gonna do 10 half double crochet at one color, 10 at the other one, 10 and 10, until the end that you're gonna finish with 10 of the main color. And then after that I will meet you here for row 14. Okay, I finished row 13. Now I'm gonna work on 14, and 14 you start with 4 of the main color, and then 10 of the accent, 10 of the main, 10 of the accent. You'll finish with 6 of the main color. So really this is not a difficult pattern to follow. It's just you have to pay attention which amount of stitching and which color you start on each row. The rest is 10 10 10, and if you started for example with 2 in one row, so you'll have to finish with 8. Those are the 10 that you move, just those 10 stitches at the beginning, and then the rest you do at the end. The rest stay 10 10 10 10, nothing change. So now I turn my work around. I have to do 4 of the main color. I have the chain 2 as the first one, and I have to do 3 more for a total of 4. And now you're gonna change color and work 10 10 10 10 and finish with 6 of the main color. I finished row 14. I turn my work around and I chain 2. 15 is exactly the same as 14. You're gonna start with 4 of the main color, 10 of the accent, 10 of the main, 10 of the accent. At the end you're gonna finish with 6 of the main color. So it's always repetition, repetition, repetition. So I have my first, my second, my third, and my fourth with the main color. Change color, and you're gonna do 10 with the accent, 10 with the main, and at the end you're gonna finish with 6 of the main color. Okay, so continue 10 10 10 until the last. I finished 15. 6. Now in 16 you're gonna do the same as you did for 15, but the reverse. You start with 4 and finish with 6. Now in 16 you'll start with 6 and finish with 4. So you're gonna do the color as you see them. You're gonna start with the 6 of the main color, 10 of the accent, 10 of the main, and so on. And that is 16. And here we're almost done our first entire 20 row. So I have my chain 2, and I'm gonna work in my 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we change to the accent color, and we work 10 with this one and 10 with the other one, and so on, and finish with 4 of the main color. I finished 16. 17 is exactly the same. You're gonna start with 6 of the main color and you're gonna finish with 4. The rest stay 10 10 10. So I already turned my work around, and you have to pay attention always at the beginning because you will have that little hole in here, but already you have the chain 2, so you have to go to the second one to do your second half double crochet because your chain counts as the first one. That way you have even border. 4, 5, and 6. Change to the accent color, and then 10, 10, 10, 10. At the end, you'll finish with 4 of the main color. I'm gonna work on 18, and I forgot to do the little color in this 8, and I have an empty space in here, but I'm glad I cut that before I post the picture that I took. So, and here I have 8 of the main color, and then 10, 10, 10. At the end of the row, you'll finish with 2 of the main color. Row 19 is exactly the same. You're going to start with 8 of the main color and finish with 2 at the end. And then row 20, it will be like 1, but with the colors. So again, you're going to start with a chain of 2 counts as the first one, and that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Change color, 10, 10, 10. At the end, you finish with 2 of the main color. And we are almost done a full 20. I finished 18, and 18 is exactly the same as 18. You're going to start with 8 of the main color, and you're going to finish with 2. That's 2, 3, 4. Remember the chain 2 counts as the 1. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Change color. Now 10, 10, 10. You're going to finish with 2 of the main color. After that, we're going to work on 20, and we're done. Now we're going to work on row 20. We're going to start with 10 of the main color, 10 of the accent color, 10 of the main, and at the end of the row, you're going to finish with 10 of the accent color. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You're going to change color. And now you're going to do 10 with the next color, and change color, and 10, and 10, and 10, till the end. And that will be I finished row 20, and look how even this border is in both sides. You'll have a very even borders. I love the combination of the 2 colors. I thought when I started that maybe they don't gonna go together, but I can see now the design, and I love it. As you work, you will see much better. So now we finished row 20. You have to start all over again with row 1. And in row 1, you start with 10 of the main color, and 10 of the accent, 10 of the main, 10 of the accent. Really, this project don't have a main color or an accent color. It's just that for my self, and I think you'll find it easier if you guide yourself choosing the solid color as a main color and the other one as an accent, just in your mind, because you know then when you have to change color, when you see that it's not color in your chart, you know that you have to change to the other color. It's easier mentally, it's easier that way. So to guide yourself with the chart, you only have to guide yourself at the beginning of each row. The rest is 10, 10, 10, and the rest of the stitch of the one that you started with. For example, here in row 1 is all 10, but then in row 2 you start with 2 of the accent color, and you're going to finish with 8. So those 8 plus these 2 is the 10. You're just moving the stitch a little bit each time, back and forth. You're moving the stitches. And it's really easy to guide yourself just by the beginning of each row, how many stitches you have to do of the color in the chart. The rest is easy. 10, 10, 10 until the last that you have to finish with the same color that you started. Very easy. So you're going to work the length of your blanket around 80 to 90 centimeters long. That depends too on the size of the blanket that you're making. Remember, when you finish with a color and you have to start with the next color. For example, here I finished with this. I had to start with the next color, with the blue. So what I have to do here is I'm going to pass the blue through that loop. I'm going to pull that tail of the yarn I just finished working to tie that loop. And now that same yarn I'm going to pass in between the blue yarn and the loop, like we done so far, to bring the strand one stitch up. You will chain the second one, and you're ready to work with this one and have that one, you know, until you need it. So now I have to do 10 of this color and 10 of this color, and so on. So you will continue working with those repetitions until you have the desired length. Right now you don't see like much, but as you work you can see the graphic design much better. So I wanted to mention something before I go. If you don't want to carry the piece of paper with the chart around, what you do, in a little piece of cardboard you write from row 1 to 20, and then you only have to write what you have to do at the beginning of each row. So for example, in row 1 you'll write down a 10 of main color. In row 2, 2 of the accent color. Row 3, 2 of the accent color. Row 4, 4 of the accent color. Row 5, 4 of the accent color. Row 6, 6 of the accent color. Row 7, 6 of the accent color. Row 8, 8 of the accent color. Row 9, 8 of the accent color. Row 10, 10 of the accent color. And row 11, 10 of the main color. You see, you already, just by putting the beginning of each row, you know what to do with the rest. In a little piece of cardboard, you can have it around. It's much easier to guide yourself, even easier. So I'll meet you here when I have the length. So I decided to place the marker in the repetition of row 1, just in case I have to leave my work. I will know which row I'm working, because since I'm working with all the rows here in a little piece of cardboard, I don't want to be writing down each time I leave my work, and then this is not going to be any good. But by leaving a marker there in row 1, I can count which row I'm working. So I'm going to change to a new ball of yarn of the main color, because I'm finished with the first one. I only have this little piece in here. I don't want to do a knot. So what I'm going to do is time to change to 10 of the main color. So in here, I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to pass this one instead through the loop. I'm going to pull the tail. And now I'm going to work with a new one. And I'm going to lose a little bit the tail of both the new yarn and the leftover of the other one in here for a few spaces, and then I will let it go. That way I have enough tail to secure with my tapestry needle. And as you work, you lose those, and you're not going to have any seam in here on your work. So continue working until I have the length that I need for mine. So I worked for 4 repetitions, but I was finding that I needed just a little extra, and then I decided to work for 10 rows, do half of the design, because a full design is 2 rows. You're creating this one here and this one. That is a full 20 row design. You create 2 of these motifs. So I decided to do one more, half, 10 rows. But then I'm working on row 8. I only had this little piece left to finish row 8, and I ran out of the blue yarn. That's the second ball until here. So I'm glad I have more to finish those 2 1/4 row that I need to do to finish the piece. So in total it will be 4.5 motif. That will be 90 rows. From this one I still have a lot. This one had 200 grams, and this one 127.5. So this one have almost like 70 grams more. That's why with 2 is more than enough for the blanket, but from this one you need a little extra than 2 in order to finish this round 10. And I'm gonna chain 1. I'm gonna cut the yarn, lose all the tails, these ones that I have when I change from different ball of yarn, and then I will meet you here to show you the end result and give you the measurements. This is the leftover yarn. This is what I have left from my second ball of yarn, and I have in here 92 grams left. And from the third ball I only use 5.5 grams. I have 122 grams left here from 127.5. So I use 2 full plus 5.5 grams of this one. First I did the blanket for 4 repetitions of those 20 rows. That was 80 rows. And that was until 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Until this row. Okay? 4 repetitions. And when I finished there, I measured the blanket, and it was very square. It measured 87 centimeters for the width and 86 for the length. And I found that it looked a little bit weird. I wanted to do a little bit more length, and what I did half of the next 20 row repetition. So half a motif is this one here. So instead of doing 5 full motif, I did 4.5, and that gave me 96 centimeters. So this blanket measure 87 by 96. So now I will open it up, that way you can see how beautiful look the design. Well, this is the end result, and it looks amazing. And I think the mixed color yarn, they were different batches, because on this side of the blanket it looked lighter, and in the top it looked a little bit darker, but it looked amazing. You can make a bed size spread with this. It will be nice and warm. Well, I hope you guys like it and give it a try, and subscribe to my channel if you are not already a subscriber. And if you make this beautiful blanket and you want to send me some pictures, you can do it through my Facebook page, Ruby Stem and Crochet, or my Instagram, Ruby Stem and Crochet. Please share my video with friends and family. That way you help me grow here on YouTube. I wish you have a beautiful day.